So Clash of the Clubs was started as the B&R Performance Fun Run. So the idea behind the fun run was to get some clubs together, get some folks wheeling together, basically make some new friends, just a friendly competition.
We have the 5 clubs and they have the 3 drivers from each club. And we like to pick obstacles that are doable, not something that they're gonna go out and break. So we all go to one obstacle and they all draw for their place on starting. And we hit the obstacles, and it's a timed event from the bottom to the top. It goes pretty smooth, and what really gets you going is it's funny because you will see different clubs that are competing, and they are out there cheering for the other clubs.
Yeah.
You know, they're like, oh, go, and they're trying to give them pointers.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah. We had the one guy from Moccasin Creek, Randy Thompson, was spotting everybody. Every club, he was spotting every driver through the obstacles. Yeah.
And that's the whole point of Clash of the Clubs is for the little bit of competition, but it's to get clubs to come together and hang out with each other.
You try to make the obstacle the best that you can, obviously the quickest you can, and then times are added up, and I believe everybody with the quickest overall time is the winner of Clash of the Clubs.
So for this weekend, we had East Texas Jeep Outlaws, we had Make It or Break It Jeep Club, and Misfits 4x4 of Laredo, and Moccasin Creek Jeep Club out of Georgia.
So this year, we had help of the park owners to figure out the obstacles. We are not as familiar with this park as we would like to be because we don't get down here as often. So Shane and Randy with the park, they decided they would help us out and pick the obstacles.
We got a call and the Great American Crawl guys had a Clash of the Clubs deal. We talked about it. We thought we'd be a great challenge for those guys that came, and so we sit down and we talk, kind of look at the vehicles that we had coming, and we picked out some obstacles, and the very first one was Hannibal Lecter. It's one of our very first trails that we ever had some people come in and make for us. Of course, we call it Hannibal Lecter because it'll eat your lunch when you're there.
Okay, ready, set, go.
Man, I absolutely love Katemcy. I was hooked after we were here last year. This was the first stop for the Great American Crawl when we kicked off the season last year. You know, and man, I love this park. You know, the people here are great. The town of Mason's really nice. You know, it's a short commute, and it's a great park. I mean, again, everybody there is so friendly, and
The grip.
you know, the grip. It's. I would equate it to wheeling at Sand Hollow. I mean, you've just got that sandpaper-like traction, but you've got these just big, massive boulders. And the thing I like about it is you don't have to travel a whole lot in between obstacles and trails. I mean, you can hit these big playground areas that just have 100 different lines you can take up stuff.
Right.
That's probably one of my favorite things about it.
And they have everything here. I mean, they have a cafe.
Yeah.
You can get a cabin here. They got RV hookups and everything.
And man, the food is good. You know, they got that on-site concession stand. The food is killer.
And everything's right here, and the map is well laid out. So anybody comes to the park, they can follow around and follow the map, and it's well mapped. So.
Yeah, I know, give it a good try, you know, but hey, better be safe than sorry. Live to fight another day.
You got more obstacles coming up.
I know.
Not real fast.
Hannibal Lecter has some different lines. Depending on what your Jeep is, what wheelbase is, it determines on what line you're gonna take. Today, we kind of chose a more common line. We gave them an opportunity if they wanted to hit straight on or if they wanted to go around and hit it at an angle.
I'll come anywhere you want me to.
It kind of puts you on the edge of your seat because you're leaning.
Yeah, you're way off.
You're way off camber, and you're leaning. So you got to rely on a spotter to get you through.
How was it watching the line? Did that help?
No.
No. You just did your thing, huh?
I just did my thing. I wasn't watching anybody. I just, whatever.
There's not a lot of trees out here, so it makes a great spot for spectators to spread out. And there's so much terrain change, you know, people can get up on top of the rocks and sit down, and it's just a great place for putting on something like this.
You got guys out there that have been wheeling for a long time with their one Jeep with 35s on it, 37s, and they do it.
The guy from East Texas Jeep Outlaws probably put on the best show on the first obstacle there.
Oh yeah,
35s and a Dana 30.
Yeah, yes he did. Overall, it was a pretty good day. There was a few hang-ups. We had a winch.
Yeah, we had a few.
We had a winch, we had some breakage.
Yeah, the guy on 35s broke the steering, took 3 tires off the bead, one side shaft.
But let's not forget, he did get it up that first ledge, and everybody there was cheering.
Oh yeah.
Everybody
they were
was
screaming for him.
Yeah.
You were showing the big boys how it's done.
I mean, I tried.
Pretty hard, pretty good. Is this it for the day?
It's gonna be for the day, yeah.
All right, well, we're glad you came out and you gave it hell. Good work.
Appreciate it, man. It was fun while it lasted.
They were not on beadlocks. They made it up the obstacle about halfway, lost air in one tire. They did a heck of a job getting up there, but not having beadlocks really bit them on that one. Last Clash of the Clubs was at S'more in Seymour, Missouri. Totally different type of wheeling that Katemcy Rocks is here in Mason. The rock is slicker out there, the rock is loose out there at S'more. Here, the majority of the rock stays put. There are some boulders that can kind of roll around underneath you, but the rock out here has tremendous grip. It is much more technical oriented than it is a lot of pedal, and you can kind of speed through some of the stuff at S'more. So it is kind of a night and day difference in wheeling styles.
So what we look for is a streetable rig. And of course, nowadays, bigger tires are more common. We make sure that they have fire extinguisher, club has spill kits. It is a streetable rig. They have insurance. They got license plates on them.
And you know, the first clubs were all kind of taking the same general line where they were coming in way wide to the left and swinging around that tree, and they were trying to make that off-camber climb. And Jason was the first one, after he's sitting there watching it, that said he wanted to take it straight on. And I mean, he took that thing straight on and zipped up there. I think his time on that obstacle was 30-something seconds.
I think if you had the right rig, right wheelbase, and right tires, I think it's definitely a quicker line, because you don't have to worry and about that off camber, which can really get you in trouble. It's more of a straight climb, and it also puts you in better line at the top to make the exit without the sharp turns.
There was one of them, and they had all discussed on, hey, you take this line, we'll take these lines. And he was not happy. He got over there and he got in a pinch, front to back, front and rear diffs, and he couldn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
We had to call it.
Back,
what most people don't know is that 10 minutes is it. We're gonna win, and if you winch, you get a 10 minutes. That's it.
Well, the straight up path is one that it was kind of the original line that's made there. The one that most of the guys took is kind of a second line that we had. And we thought everybody would choose that, but those guys spotted out that straight up line. And it's definitely make it or break it. If you slow down and you start bouncing to the side, you're gonna go over on your lid. Believe me, I've been on my lid in that same spot.
Good notes, man. That was an incredible line. How'd that feel?
Felt good. Felt good. Real good.
Good work.
We had a Gladiator. He was on 40s, full bed, Gladiator, come wheeling up in there. And that's a tough one. Gladiators, everybody knows, it's tough. And Randy, I've talked to him on the phone, great gentleman. And he gave it his all. He was not afraid.
That was a lot of wheelbase to muscle up that hill, man.
Yes, it was.
How'd that feel?
Good, except we lost power steering. So, I mean, muscle in the wheelbase and muscle in the wheel, pain in the butt.
But still a respectable time. You made it all the way.
Yeah, and that's what I'm happy for. I didn't even think it was going to make it all the way up.
You know, getting up the first part of the obstacle, wheelbase isn't as big of a deal, but when you get up to the top, there's a very sharp, quick left and an immediate, sharp, quick right. Wheelbase played a huge part in that, in the amount of speed that they were to get through those last two turns.
That was excellent. How'd that feel?
That's awesome, man.
Did you feel that tire going up or what?
Oh, yeah. Man.
Up in here at the end.
I didn't hardly notice
you
it.
can almost stand underneath it.
We were looking at the stars. Yeah, we were looking straight up, so it was a blast, man.
Excellent run.
Second obstacle for the clubs was on a trail called King of the Hill. The start of it wasn't terrible. It was a pretty good climb. Most guys shot right up in pretty good shape, but where everybody ran into trouble is there's kind of a flat spot before you hit the next little obstacle, and in that flat spot there are several large boulders, and they did kind of move around and shift with each vehicle going through there.
took a little extra muscle on that one.
It's my fat ass.
So he came up, you know, I mean, and the bad part about it is he was making good time and almost got all the way out. He got right to the very top where he had, you know, just one more little rock shelf to crawl over and he'd have been done. I mean, which was nothing compared to what he had just came through. And he ended up breaking the driver's side upper control arm at the cross member. So he was, I mean, and that axle was, yeah, because that axle was,
yeah, it was all over.
Had to hook 2 winches to him to get him pulled up and off those boulders, but we got him pulled out and you know, just not a major repair, but I'm pretty sure he's got everything taken care of and in good shape.
That's why we run synthetic rope.
Everybody seemed to be getting a diff, front or rear diff getting hung up, kind of getting turtled on them, and that's what really caused a struggle on that trail. It wasn't the incline or the steepness coming up at the beginning, it was that loose, large boulders that could really get you hung up.
It didn't really look that bad.
yeah.
It didn't look that bad. It was like, okay, that looks very doable. To one middle section of that, it was the path of the trail. You had tires in hole here and a tires in hole here and big rocks in the middle. So they were all trying to go around it. And every time they would go around it, those rocks, even though the rock here is sticky, it's still slick with dirt on it, and they like to roll.
Found the gas at the end there, man.
I didn't want to tear it up, but hey, life goes on.
You know, normally when we do the events, we have a longer run from point A to point B. What's nice about Katemcy was the fact of is they're a lot shorter run.
Yeah.
You know, and it's a lot easier for us to manage for that, and everything was one after another. So it was nice to do that, because a lot of times some of the parks we go to, we have to travel quite a ways, and we have all the clubs, all the people that want to watch, and it kind of gets congested. It's hard to get from point A to point B. And Katemcy is, I mean, you have your areas, and you just go from one here, there's another one right here, because there's so much trails,
You know, and that was beneficial.
obstacles.
That was beneficial, I think, you know, with,
It
with the
is.
smaller lines
It
too.
is.
It was beneficial to all the clubs because it let everybody see the entire obstacle from start to finish. You know what I mean? A lot of the parks we visited in the past, you didn't see that. I mean, you could see the first part of the trail, but where they went beyond that, you could never see the finish line.
And what was nice too is like everybody was sitting up on all the rocks in the background so they could see everything, you know. I mean, everybody sitting out there in their lawn chairs. I mean, it was.
Yeah, these clubs had, I mean, great support show up for them this year.
Yeah.
Lots of folks came in with them.
Smooth.
Thank you, man. Thank
Very
you.
smooth.
Yeah, that's me. Smooth, like a pickle or something. I don't know.
Hell yeah.
So the second and the third obstacle were both on the King of the Hill Trail. The first was the entrance, and it's just a whole bunch of moguls of holes and rocks and diff catchers and bouncing stones and a nice uphill climb in the start. And we were looking for something that would happen pretty quick, that would end pretty quick, but it would be challenging for the guys. And you know, it's one of those deals that you can't really haul into. You got to kind of pick your line, or that boom, you're stuck. Those guys hammered through there. Of course, when you're going fast and you catch one of those ditch catchers, boom, it's an immediate stop. So yeah, we did see some speed there. It was fun.
Running back and everything, baby.
Hold on, Mooney. Stay right here with me. Stay right here with me.
Smooth, man. Those
Oh,
rocks
yeah.
were tricky, but you did it.
Yeah, I know. Hey, I gotta redeem myself from the first one, though.
You made it up.
I made it up, and then roll over. You've got to be used to a different type of wheeling. You know, this is slow technical crawling out here where you really, really, really got to pay attention to tire placement and where you end up at on these rocks. Because the problem is when you're, you know, you'll see guys trying to go high left or trying to go high right to dodge something in front of them. And man, you slip down in that crack and well, now you're trying to drive your front diff right into the rocks. And you try and back up, and you know you got 2 or 3 inches, and now you're slamming your back diff into rocks. And you know these are rocks that are the size of a Volkswagen. I mean, you aren't going to back over them, and you aren't going to push them out of the way. And that's where we had a couple of hangups with the event, where people definitely had to pull cable. They didn't have any choice because they weren't going anywhere. Yeah.
We made it. Yeah.
That one was a little gnarlier than the last one.
For sure, there was a lot of places to get those things hung up.
Yeah, a lot of turtling, every Jeep going up, and tried to stay the left line. I think a little bit more motor would have been a little better.
King of the Hill was our third obstacle for these clubs. Very steep, pretty tall climb.
You all right?
Yeah.